I'm going to show how to use I-CubeX with Noldus Observer so as to create markers of regions of interest in a video that is recorded with Noldus Observer during an observation. I-CubeX consists of sensors and interfaces and software, and the software here is I-CubeX keys connected to a USB microDIC through a serial port. And the USB microDIC is connected to a reach sensor that detects proximity of a hand to the sensor. It's already routing this sensor data, in fact the keyboard presses, to Noldus Observer, and we can quickly see that it is generating these capital C's and lowercase c's to Noldus Observer. If I now look at the configuration tab, you can see that there is two methods to generate characters. That is when the sensor value crosses a threshold and then reaches a peak. When it reaches a peak, it can send a character selected from the character map, or you can also type in a character here, whichever one you want, or strings even. Lots of possibilities, and the end value means that the sensor value goes below the threshold, and then it generates by default the lowercase character selected in the character map. The threshold can be set here, right now set at 1.54 volts, and the top is the input range of the sensor input on the digitizer, in this case the USB microDIC. Then of course you can invert this also. Lots of possibilities to generate the key presses. So if we leave it at this, capital C when the hand is close to the sensor and lowercase when the hand is retracting. So then we look at Noldus Observer, and the first thing we want to do is to make a coding scheme. And here we created the setup where a person is performing a task and there is a box of candies in the workspace of this person. And you then want to know how often or what is happening during the time that the person is reaching for a candy. So the behavior here is reach for the candy is capital C and lowercase c when the person is retracting. That would be the key presses you would make if you would annotate the video afterwards and then say like, oh, now he's reaching for a candy, I'm going to press the C. So we want to automate that with this I-CubeX key software. Now we can create a observation, and here's the candy. And if I start, then you will see that if my hand comes close, it says, oh, I'm reaching for a candy. Now, I want to make that reaching for candy like really tight, so that if I'm really close to the candy, then only I want to generate these two behavior values. So I'm going to increase in the I-CubeX key software the value pretty high, so that I have to be really close to the sensor. Now I have to bring back the focus, the Windows focus to Noldus Observer to make sure that I-CubeX keys can send or knows where to send the key presses. So now I have to be almost touching the sensor in order to generate the input in Noldus Observer. So every time there is an entry, and I can do this a couple of times. So now if we close this observation, we can then look at the visual representation in Observer, and now you can see quickly, oh, here I was actually reaching for this candy. And then you can quickly scroll forward the video to these points and say like, of course now I'm only recording the hand motion just for clarity, but if you had a total observation of all the other parts of my behavior, then you could quickly see, oh, here he's reaching for the candy, and what is he doing with his head, or what is he typing, or what is he clicking, if it was a computer task. That's the basic idea of using I-CubeX with Noldus Observer, and that concludes this presentation. Thanks.